So we start.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gen AI Con Marketing. I am delighted to be joined today by Margarita Repina. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Great. I'll hand it over to you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you today, talking about the challenges of AI in the art industry. I'm a senior tech business leader with strategy background. My focus areas is strategy, customer experience, product development. I have over 15 years of experience in cloud, fintech, edtech, medtech, and last but not the least, my specific focus area during previous 2 years is art tech. I'm also an AI generative art expert. I recently finished my dissertation on this topic at Sotheby's Institute of Art, and also have a PhD in economics. So currently I'm more sort of an independent consultant. So I'll be happy if you contact me to discuss your queries you may have. So let's start with the topic. My talk today will be divided into key 3 parts. First of all, we'll talk about what is good AI art. Second, what is contemporary AI art aesthetic? And the last part, but not the least, is AI art impact on the industry in general, in marketing, on tech businesses, and on society at large. So first, what is AI generative art? AI art that we know today basically was born not 10 years ago, not 5 years ago. Its history goes back 70 years. And the term generative art itself was developed in 60s by German philosopher Max Benz. So what is generative art in general? Generative art is a set of artworks based on algorithmic code or mathematical formula. These works are made through a set of rules that kind of automate the output. But the most important thing here, why we distinguish, for example, design from art, that the artist, not the machine, not the software, defines the process and defines the output. And the output is a sort of machine and artist collaboration, not vice versa. The first generative artwork was created in 1962 by scientist, not the artist. His name is Michael Knoll. He tried to explore computers that appeared at that time available to a narrow public at Bell Labs. So this work is currently in V&A collection because this is an iconic piece which created the grounds for the whole digital art movement later. The artist didn't have an intent to create artistic work. He just experimented with the degree of creativity the machine might have. And he tried to reassemble one of Picasso's paintings on this artwork. So getting back to the history of AI generative art, which we observe today, I have to say that there is 4 main phases or stages in this art movement development. First stage started in 50s and finished at 1968. So this is the phase where generative art actually appeared, started to be exhibited, and the generative art has roots in the data movements, in art movements of that time. For example, data movement, conceptual art, kinetic art, optical art. So during this phase, we can see the rise of the first artist, the couple of first exhibitions. It was group of exhibitions. During this phase, generative art wasn't that commercial, but still the artworks created during that phase is very popular today in terms of auction sales. They are in major museums collections such as V&A, Tate, and some others. And actually during this phase, the first certificate of authenticity for the painting was created by Sol LeWitt. It's kind of a prototype of the NFT certificate, which appeared later in 2014. So during the second phase, in 70s and 80s and 90s, we see kind of a refocus on the other digital art forms in the art market. And there is no that much strong impact in this area, but we see the major rise of the interest to the movement since the appearance of Bitcoin white paper and, of course, the technology, which tremendously changed the industry. I mean, GAN models and CAN models. So in 2018, the first AI generative portrait was sold at Christie's for $400K. And also one of the great artists of the contemporary art scene, Refik Anadol, started to work on his iconic machine hallucination project. During this stage, we also see the record sale of Beeples every day for 69 million. And 4 out of 10 top auction results were made by AI artists. But all this changed after the crypto crash of 2022. And currently we see kind of a new era, a rise of AI art movement, but in a different level of institutional recognition, different level of curatorial experience, and different incentives for collectors to buy such kind of works. So I'm going to show you some early examples of generative artists. This one is a great piece by Manfred Moore, created in 1974. It's a print created on a computer, which decomposed a 10-dimension cube. The artist used plotters to create this even before the creation of laser printers. Another major example is Harold Cohen. He's kind of the first ever artist who created a robotic art programmed with a Fortran software. During the early periods of his career, he painted the patterns created by this arm called Aaron by himself, but later he adapted the algorithm to the robotic arm to even color the paintings. And his artworks are at Tate. He's been exhibited at Tate 2 times. So he's an iconic generative artist. Another remarkable example is Andy Warhol. These kind of pieces are created on Amiga computer, and actually the public and art historian didn't know about this until 2014. These amazing pictures were discovered just recently, less than 10 years ago. And it took many months to find these artworks into the archives, to restore software just to extract the artworks. So when we are talking about the contemporary art aesthetics, sometimes it's often misinterpreted to only prompt-based art, but the AI generative art field is much broader than just Midjourney or Dali pictures. So there is no any like solid classification of AI art aesthetics currently. I'm just suggesting one view of this issue. So I'll talk about geometrical generative abstraction. Second is AI sculpture, and the last one is AI pop art. So then they are talking about like what is generative geometrical abstraction. These artworks are going back to early generative art. They're mostly focusing on patterns and ornaments. This is abstract artworks. They don't depict people, person. They are not landscapes or portraits. These artists are one of the most established in the current digital art scene. For example, Tyler Hobbs, Dmitry Chernyak, they have several records at Sotheby's Christie's for their sales. Vera Molnar is the first female generative artist, which is currently 96 years old. She's still active in her creativity. She recently created an amazing set of generative artworks, which were sold at Sotheby's, as well as exhibited and sold during the recent art fair Frieze London and Frieze Masters. So here you can see the prices, how the market value this kind of art, and we can conclude that this is blue chip art. So then they're talking about sculptures. This is one of the most innovative mediums in this movement. For example, Refik Anadol that I mentioned today already, he recently had an exhibition at MoMA in New York. And the most remarkable thing here that MoMA decided to acquire this artwork into the permanent collection. And this is one of the first ever cases. And then the generative artwork was acquired by such great museum. Physically, this kind of artworks are videos created by often large team of machine learning engineers. And to create one piece of such kind, it could take up to 6 months to create such kind of pieces of art. So last but not the least, AI pop art. These kind of artworks are often and well known in terms of aesthetics to the broad public because they're focusing on topics such as consumerism, everyday life, iconic figures such as Elon Musk in our contemporary society. These artworks are not always created with the use of Midjourney or DALL-E or other softwares. For example, Beeple is working in his custom software using some ML mechanics behind his artworks. The last picture is famous precedent, is the artwork by Jason Allen called Theatre de Opera Special, depicting the space opera. This artwork won the first prize at the Colorado State Art Fair in the category of digital arts, but it raised a lot of controversy regarding the creativity behind such kind of works. Actually, Jason Allen tried to copyright his piece, but he failed to do so. And there is ongoing discussion between the legal authorities, artist community, and the broader AI community in terms of where is the line between creativity and machine-created artworks. In general, what about Midjourney and DALL-E? Is it art or not? Often, pieces created by Midjourney or DALL-E lack institutional recognition in the art world. They are not often created by the professional artists. They are not that well sold in terms of auctions. These artists often don't have any strong gallery representation. This leads us to the point that these kind of pictures are often created for the commercial purposes rather than for the art's sake. And this is one of the main differentiation between design and art. So basically, such kind of pictures could be considered more a design, not the art. And also, these kind of works often lack artistic statement or any concept behind it. So this is also a crucial point to consider a creation art. So what is AI generative art impact on the industry in general? Let's start with the assessment of the AI art market. Currently, it's still a tiny part of the art market in general. Total art market is $68 billion last year, and AI art is just is estimated between $200 and $300 million, which is less than 1% of the whole art market. But still, we can expect it to grow further, despite the other key feature of this segment is a great volatility and the connection to the cryptocurrencies volatility as well. Just to illustrate the point, let's look at the example. We have two sculptures, physical sculptures actually by people. First one is Human One. It was sold for $29 million in 2021. And the other sculpture is also by people, which was sold at Art Basel for just $9 million 2 years later. Also, both these sculptures are 3D cubes with moving image inside. They're created in the same dimensions, based on the same technology by blue chip artist Mike Winkelmann. But the other difference between these two sales is the buyer. First one was bought by a private collector, and the second one was acquired by the museum. But at the same time, both artworks were bought at commercial marketplaces. One is one of the greatest auction houses, and the second one of the biggest art fairs. So I wouldn't consider the buyer factor is the main factor driving this value free fall decrease. So how we can look into the perspective of the AI art market? I'll definitely say that I see the rising tendency in this area because we see the new kind of quality of the market after the crypto crash. We see the rise in institutional recognition of AI art. Last year, Sotheby's and Christie's conducted several auctions by famous early and contemporary AI artists. We see the advancement of the generative AI technology and specific tools bring in traditional artists into the field, including, for example, Damien Hirst, who created amazing pieces of collaborative AI art recently and sold them for $20 million. So also we can see the rise of curatorial expertise in the sphere of generative art. We can see more articles appearing, more academic books appearing, and the transition into how major art fairs look into the digital art segment. Also, after the crypto crash, we can see the stabilization in the prices in the market, which means the decrease of speculation. Does AI art benefit the society at all? Of course it is. First, AI tools help a lot of businesses and creators to drive content on a different level, to drive art-driven campaigns. Second, AI art enhances accessibility and inclusivity in the art world in general. For example, Beeple, Mike Winkelmann, doesn't have any artistic official background. And he has a degree in computer science, but still he's the most expensive artist in the field of generative art. Also, digital artists often attract public attention to some of the global challenges. For example, the artwork which is depicted on the left is the photo of Rafika Nadal with his artwork called Glaciers. It was devoted to the melting glaciers in Arctic. Artists went to actual expedition to collect tremendous amounts of photos of glaciers to recreate this movement using his custom software, machine learning engineers, art directors, his vast team, just to attract attention to the problem of climate change. Also, through AI art, we can explore the issues of AI technology, ethics in general. For example, in the art community, there is a lot of discussions concerning the creativity issues, the issues whether is it ethical to collect the works by living artists into the data sets that are used in Midjourney or DALL-E, or can it be copyrighted, the artwork created by AI technology? So all these discussions are strongly happening into the art field currently. Last but not the least, how can AI art benefit your business in terms of marketing and business development in general? First, of course, enhancing user experience. Artificial intelligence can help to create visually appealing interfaces. Then you bring up the artist, not the designer, to the creation, for example, mobile app or advertising for physical products such as MacBook depicted here. Artists can bring some new kind of creativity to the interfaces. Also, branding. Artistic elements can help establish unique brand identity. Art in contracts to design is focused on creating something unique, something that didn't happen before, something new. This can help your brand to distinguish yourself from other competitors. This is also very important because the visual consumption became very important in the consumer marketing in the recent years. Also, artists can bring a fresh perspective to problem solving, bringing new gaze, new kind of experience, then you problem solve on your project. Also, emotional connection. Every marketing specialist knows how it is important to create emotional connection to the customers, because this is exactly what leads to increase in LTV, in loyalty of the customer, in your long-term relationship with the customer. And art can help create a deeper connection between users and a product. And of course, differentiate you from the competitors while creating distinctive aesthetics and ideas incorporated into your marketing communication. So this is all for today. I'm happy to answer your question. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much. That was really, really fascinating. So I do have a question which is about attribution. So I know with Stability AI, they've had lots of class actions of artists that have come to them saying, this piece of AI artwork was you trained your model using my artwork. I can see the similarities, and that's infringing on IP. And they are, because of your background in cloud, I was wondering whether you had a perspective, because they are doing R&D into this at the moment, how to attribute and say who are the data contributors to that AI model to then provide the royalties. But a lot of the artwork are purely URLs on a CDN. So I was wondering, from your perspective, does that mean that in order to build a system of attribution, you would need to work with CDNs?
Okay, thank you for the question. Actually, this is a broad theme, which is very discussable currently in the art world and in the legal world. In terms of the legal perspective on this issue, currently there is no any consistent framework which actually answers the questions, what is right in terms of pictures that are available online as JPEGs of the painting, like exact physical painting. So currently, the normal practice is that it's dissolved on demand of the artist. So if an artist wants to exclude his artwork from the data set, he just tries to delete him or Midjourney, asking and requesting to exclude these kind of artworks created by someone from the training data sets. And it's not in any sense automated. Currently, is just by request. If someone knows that he or she or they sees aesthetics looking like his own paintings, it can be excluded. But physically, you cannot even control the process. It's so difficult just to request a confirmation that this artwork was literally excluded. So one of the problems here is the roots of the algorithm on which these systems like DALL-E or Midjourney are based. And they also incorporate a lot of biases in terms of inclusivity. And currently, this is something that, from the technical perspective, and from my opinion, it needs to be fixed even deeper in the algorithm, maybe next level, next stage models, which will use something really different. So it's not just about the cloud architecture and the data models behind this, but it needs to be reshaped to protect artists and to be more inclusive.
So yes, I think at the moment, when it comes to IP issues, you can issue things like takedown requests. So there needs to be maybe more of a systematic approach to that, plus maybe computer vision. So if someone else goes to an art gallery or takes a picture of something and their users are training, it will identify that this is owned by this artist, email goes out to them or something to verify that they're happy to train the model. And then the question is, what happens when the model has already been trained with the artwork? How can you go back in time and erase that? It's not like a takedown request where it's taken down and that's it. Yeah. It's a bit like an NFT where it's there for perpetuity, and so it's really difficult to then erase. It's definitely a difficult problem to solve.
Yeah, I agree.
Great. And what sort of projects are you looking to work on in future within the field of, art and AI and cloud computing?
Well, one of my key ideas currently that I'm working on is the creation of AI art advisory.
Okay.
Maybe an application for customers or something like B2B for the professionals, just to implement this aesthetics view in this vast field, massive marketplaces. Then you go to some of the marketplaces like Art Blocks, for example, which is one of the best. It's just so easy to get lost because you see tons of NFTs. You just don't see the pattern how you can choose what to collect. Also, I consult businesses on customer experience in general in different spheres, art techs, companies, company which creates face recognition applications using computer vision, not just cultural sector, but my passion is art. It's been my passion since I was 3 years old, and I still do a lot of in this area.
Yeah, so we've got about 5 minutes left. If anyone has any questions, please pop them through. And so just one last personal question from me, and then we can got our next speaker coming up. Is what sort of art do you collect?
Well, I collect emerging conventional artists from CIS countries and the UK artists, just with the purpose to support the rising stars.
And CIS? What does CIS stand for?
Eastern Europe,
Okay.
Soviet Union,
Yes.
that's what I'm from, and it's kind
Okay.
of the connection to home.
Ah.
And yeah, but I didn't start to collect digital art yet. I'm just looking because high-end pieces are really expensive. And it's so hard to choose from something emerging currently.
And what do you think about the concept of a DAO for, to allow, ordinary people to buy an expensive, Picasso or whatever it is?
Well, it's different. DAO is kind of organization which tries to diminish normal artwork rules and try to build something collective base. But there is a bias in this organization. Sometimes then they grow larger. They're just going back to the normal art world rules with this exclusivity, high barriers to enter. The art world has seen this trend over the last years. And in terms of fractional ownership, then you buy like a tiny piece of Picasso or any other expensive painting. This is an amazing tools and businesses which are created mostly for the investment purposes. So when you look into the art, there are three main kind of values. First one is essential value, like art for the art's sake. You just like what you look at, aesthetically pleasing something. Second, social value, then you impact the society through your artworks. And the last one is economic value, which is driven by the investment value. And in terms of just investment value, it could be amazing. And this kind of art business segment is growing. There are a lot of new companies going into field, a lot of startups that are created, went to great accelerators in States, for example. So it's definitely going to grow. And I think it's going to collect a lot of new collectors, which may start with the investment value collecting and then move to the essential and social value artworks and start to really collect.
I think it's fractional ownership is a fantastic idea. It will maybe allow more investors to enter the market, so they could apportion a certain proportion of the fractional ownership to women, or to people under a certain age group, to bring more people into this market. Does fractional ownership change the asset type of artwork? So if you're about to buy a painting, it's maybe one asset type, and then if you buy a fraction of a painting, it's something completely different in terms of the tax implications and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's different. Then I'm talking about fractional ownership is more like a stocks segment. So the taxation is different. It's not like you own the physical piece. You just own a share in an asset, which is not like the actual painting.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Really fascinating. I could speak to you all day. And we look forward to having you soon.